What's up, guys? If you're looking to bulletproof, we as Americans have gotten lazy. We don't vacuum no more. We don't even mop anymore. This little thing mops the floors. You see that woman right there? She stays busy, so I respect that. But yes, if you're looking to bulletproof your Duramax diesel, your PowerStroke, your Cummins, this is probably the first upgrade you can do. Let's go ahead and jump outside really quickly. I'm going to show you guys an install video that Josh at Truck Stuff did. And then, yeah, I think this is the best upgrade you can do right now, guys, for sure. Before we get started, I wanted to show you the oil bypass just because it's really dark in Josh's shop. But you guys see the size of this oil bypass, and then look at the size of the filter for your truck. I mean, that is just embarrassing. I think that GM really needs to stop using the Yukon filters for these big Duramax diesels. Just saying. And that's kind of why I like having this, because you get more filtration, all the soot, moisture, fuel dilution, all that stuff. And of course, when you use the Lorenzo oil, which I'll show you here in a second, that should help with fuel dilution as well. But you guys see where the oil is going to come out. Let me zoom in just a little bit. So yeah, that's where the oil comes out. You guys see the lines up there, they run up, we have them zip tied, boom, right into here. And then here is my Banks Cool Runner oil pan. We did do the return line where the sensor would have gone for this. If you want to add an extra sensor, Banks gives that to you, but we decided to use it for the oil bypass. So here's everything I'm running in the truck. These bottles are the exact same, by the way. I just wanted to bring them over here. That's the additive for the fuel. And of course, this is the oil, 15W40 full synthetic, 5 gallons, $2.99 for that. And that has tungsten in it. I will have Insane Diesel do a video for this oil just because it's expensive for some people. It's like, I think it's like $16.95. Actually, it might be cheaper than AMSOIL, but this is better simply because of the tungsten. And I want him to be able to explain it to you guys. Promo code down below for the oil bypass in this. I think that if you're looking to go 15, 20, 30,000 miles on oil change, you can potentially do this. Now, there is an oil analysis that you have to do. That way you can make sure you're within the range of going that mileage. If you're a hot shotter, if you're someone who plans on keeping your truck a long time and you do a lot of miles a year, this is the game changer for you. I'm telling you. They have proof. Dave's Auto has done videos with Insane Diesel. There's a lot of data out there for this. This stuff works. Let's go ahead and jump into the video so you guys can see how easy it is to install it, and then that'll pretty much end the video.
And that is very specific.
Okay, 34 pound-feet.
Yeah.
So we just torqued it down.
If you don't torque it to 34 in cold weather, it'll probably leak on you.
Huh. So what are you doing right here?
We're getting ready to put in the fitting to supply, or to attach the hose to supply pressure to the Insane Diesel oil filter bypass.
Okay.
So you get this plug out, and there's another one that comes in the kit. And as you guys can see, we're doing a frame mount. There she is right there. So my hoses are all going to be really short because we're going to go from here to here, out of here to here. So everything's going to be nice and compact. So that right there, you take out the plug from that. Now reference it from where the oil filter screws on, right below it. You pull out the plug, and then this little guy gets installed, and it's an AN fitting so that we can then attach our hoses. All right, so that plug that comes out of there is a 20 millimeter by 1.5. So you take that out, and then you get the AN to 20 millimeter by 1.5. It is Boss O-ring, so no need to Loctite that in or nothing. It just goes in and seals with that O-ring. I got tired of sitting there with a screwdriver and a pick and stuff, and I just happened to be watching good old TikTok one day, and the guy did this. Wow. And that's that, butted all the way up. No problem at all. Now, here is a trick that I will teach you. My old uncle Tanner taught me this. But when you're putting these in there, if you throw a little bit of lube on that, this will mate up into that hose without twisting or pushing the hose out. So you can get these pretty far by hand once you get them some lube. And then grab yourself a pair of 19 millimeters. Make sure you're watching this junction right here, the hose to the fitting, to make sure it's not pushing out or twisting as you're tightening this. Let me put the long one that's stationary and the short one that I'm twisting, so I'm not running into my leg with it. Anyway, you'll tighten this down until the collar just touches. You don't need to crank on that, don't need to do no stupid hillbilly. Now, I could sit here and tell you what that measurement is, and I could probably pull out a tape measure and build this hose to it, but I don't like doing stuff the easy way. So I'm literally going to make it to length as I want. And depending on where you mount your bracket to put the bypass, the length of the hoses are going to be different from install to install. This kind of depends on all of the other accessories and stuff that are with the vehicle. So I am going to put that on, but see how it's going to run into that filter housing right there? I don't like that. So let's get it up on the other side of it like that. I'm not going to tighten it down quite yet because we're going to come in right about here. We want to come around on this side. So you're going to see where it's in on the filter housing. So we're going to come about to there with it. But you got to remember that fitting has a little bit of length on it.
You show it real quickly?
Yeah, right here. So that fitting is going to have a little bit of length on it, right? Like this. And we know we need to bring that hose into about right there. Pressure port goes into the input port, and then coming out of the filter is going to dump into the Banks oil pan right here. So we've got plenty of slack on the line, but not too much. Oh boy, my electrical tape don't come like this. So I'm going to mark my line, and I'm going to use some electrical tape. And the reason why I'm going to use the electrical tape is also because that's going to give me my perfect cut, and it helps preserve the line when you cut. So we come back up, get our length again. We know we want to go to right about there. So I'm going to put my tape on it. Right like that. And then we're going to cut it. I like using these. I picked these up at Home Depot or whatever. It's a Klein tool. It's a cable cutter tool. Literally cuts that easy. And it doesn't fill up the line with dust from the grinder. Cut off the lip. And then from this position, I'm going to pull off my tape that I used. I'm going to pop this part of the fitting off. Put it in my handy dandy socket screwer. Make sure that your pieces are inside the ferrule. And then, as you can see now, we're totally bottomed out in that fitting. Nice and easy peasy. So now we can take this little bugger out. Start it up in here. And then we can start tightening these down. This is just a Loctite brand thread sealant. Put a little bit of dab on there. Now you got to be very careful when you do this that you don't leave it on the inside exposed area to get into the filter. So you need to wipe it out and out, just like that. So we're going to go into the in port. Make sure we get to the proper torque spec, just like that. And then we'll kind of repeat the process coming into the Banks oil pan from the outport of here. Comprende? Understood?
Perfect.
Class on. Okay, so some of you are probably going to ask me, how come I don't put thread sealant on this right now when I go to put it in this pan? And the reason is because the short hoses that we're dealing with, if it gets to a point to where I need to take the other hose all the way out to put the ends on and all of that stuff, I don't want to be doing it with thread sealant on. So I'll get the whole entire hose made and then we'll start putting thread sealant on. Okay, so I like that length right there. Now remember, we're going to do it the same way. I'm going to get me a piece of tape. I don't want too much slack. I like that right about there, so that is where we're going to put it, right there. Hit my head on the rack. Some people leave the tape on. I don't. I haven't had luck with that being effective. Doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong, it's just personal preference. Uh-oh.
Right there.
All the way butted in. So now we'll pop this booger out. Give it some room. Because everybody likes to lube up their black hose. You guys will get the joke someday. Grabbing my handy dandies. Hope I don't drop them there in that oil bucket. I was stupid and dropped it in the oil bucket like I said I shouldn't do, so I had to grab me a shorty. And by the way, I grabbed a shorty. That tells you how not tight those need to be. Right? Okay, so now we can start putting on some of our thread sealant. And for those of you out there who are going to comment, why do you use so much? Better to have too much and not need it than not enough and need it, right? And again, let me show you. You get this thread sealant on that edge, you need to wipe it off. You don't want that going up into your filter. So Banks made their pan with this optional, not optional, it's standard equipment. It's a threaded port. It's 1/8 inch MPT. It's 1/8 inch MPT. Their purpose is for somebody who wants to put an oil temp sensor right there. The vehicle's already got oil temp sensors in the thing, so we're going to use that as our return port for the Insane Diesel oil filter bypass system. You guys remember the movie Talladega Nights? And they put advertisement on the windscreen of the car. And then every time they were talking to the press and all that, he mentioned all of his sponsors. So every time we do something, we have to mention the Insane Diesel oil filter bypass and the Banks oil pan. And I'd like to thank Tiny Baby Jesus for giving me the fortitude to perform at the level of excellence.
Amen to that.
Oh man, that just dripped right in my mouth. That's a 16 millimeter. And again, we got the perfect torque coming up here in just a second. £122 Anybody want to put that to foot pounds? It's about 11.4 foot pounds. And there we go. Okay, so those are tight. We ain't done yet. Next thing we want to do is make sure that those lines all stay secure. So we're going to throw a couple zip ties on them. Last thing we want is them things rubbing where they're not supposed to rub. So we're going to put one there, and we're going to run another one right there. Just trying to keep my zip tie and my flashlight in my mouth, but it wasn't working out so well. So we had to give up one. So when you cut these off, I want you all to do a big favor to anybody else. Cut them square. Don't cut them at a knife point, okay? I get tired of tearing up my hands because somebody thinks it's funny to make them a diagonal cut. All right, so I'm gonna put an oil filter back on this thing. We're gonna fill her up with the Lorenzo oil, and we're gonna start it and prime the system, and she'll be done.